today is going to help you out getting to him?
I think it's gonna help me out a lot. Like I said, it's gonna take some time for us to get to know each other on the court a little bit, but I think we are really familiar with each other's game and whatnot. So I mean, like I said, on Sunday, it's gonna show out there what we've been doing this past few weeks in on training camp.
I know you were familiar with a lot of these guys even before you got to the team, but is there anything about playing with them over the past several weeks that has struck you about any one of them in particular, about they didn't know he had that?
Paul Reed is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing watching him play. When I first got here, I didn't know who he was at all, man. First few practices, he showed me who he was. So, I mean, it's been fun competing against him, and I can't wait to get the season going with him.
I know, you've always been described as someone who's very athletic, but when you get to this level and you see that there's a lot of guys who are pretty athletic, how does it translate for you?
I like what you said. When you get up here, I mean, everybody athletic, everybody can dunk, run, jump, shoot, all that, but I think it translates pretty well, honestly. Like you said, and previously, I mean, I was the most athletic in my group, and now I'm with Asar Thompson, Cade, all these guys that can run, jump, and do the same thing. So now we're ready to put it together.
Both Trajan and JB talked about you knowing you were coming here, going to be in the leadership group now, first day here. What does it feel like to actually be now in the mix of things as the leader, as the voice of teaching these young guys, things that you learned across the
I mean, obviously that's a role that comes with a lot of responsibility, and for somebody like me, just coming in and always just building respect. No matter how many years you have in the league, is building these guys, trust with myself, and you have to lead by example. And so coming in and being in the best of shape and just leading by example in everything that I do, pushing these guys and making sure that essentially they reach their full potential. And that's the only thing I want being here, and I also know that will make us the best team that we can be. So, I want all the guys on this team to reach their success. And it starts with days like this and coming in and putting that work in, but together as a unit, communicating, talking, and being open and transparent with each other of what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm excited for that role. It's been a role ever since I got into the league that I dreamed about being in, and to be with this group, this talent, this level of professionalism in this locker room, it's a very well-fitting situation.
What's been your first impression of Ron Holland, and did you have an opportunity to kind of give him some words of advice, knowing that today was like his first day of
Yeah, Ron, me and Ron, we talk a lot about what fast food chain is the best one to eat. So that's where we first started talking. And he's a great kid, and super athletic, explosive, great confidence. He's going to be a hell of a player. But my biggest piece of advice to him is to eat salad, because he told me when we first met he doesn't like salad. And so I knew me and him we're going to have a great bond. After he told me that, I was like, okay, I'm going to make sure I do my part for you.
What's the best fast food chain?
See, that's TBD. Because sometimes we either talking chicken, we talking burgers. So he gives me some new advice on what he likes.
Okay, I'll ask him now.
Yeah.
For a young point guard, it's so valuable to have a guy, like a guy who can take some stress off him and make plays when they need to be made with the short clock and all that.
Yeah.
What's your connection been like with Cade, and how do you envision playing off him to be that guy?
Yeah, no, our connection's been great. I mean, he is a huge reason why I decided to come here. Just understanding what type of leader he is for this group and the goals that he has as a player. And so super skilled on the floor. But for me, just making his life easier, figuring out ways that we can get into different matchups out there on the floor. 1-4 screen and roll, 1-3 screen and roll, and just really allow him to see the game the way that he must see it, because he's a very creative player and can do a lot of things with the basketball. Coming off pick and roll, he can play off the ball just as well. So, just being on him, like, we need you to get going and everything. And for me, from time to time, just getting him easy looks on the floor and allow him to get some of those easy catch and shoot threes or some off-ball cuts and things of that nature. So, that helps with the shooters we got on this team as well, to space the floor so he can have more space to create. So, It's going to be a great dynamic to play with and to really work, different mismatch off each other.
You talk about putting guys in a position to succeed. What has been your early impressions right now? How do you envision using Marcus Sasser? Because yesterday he talked about improving his skill set in order to play the point guard position on the NBA level.
I think that's it. I think we have a versatile group. So he can play with, all of our guards. He can play with Cade. He can play with J.I. He can play with the veteran guys, Tim and Malik as well. So he can play on and off the ball. But what I've seen from him, from Summer League even on to now is, his understanding of how to orchestrate and put other guys in position to be successful, which is something that he's been working on. But, again, we try to put our guys in positions of strength as much as we possibly can. And, whatever it is that got him here, we want to accentuate that and then continue to build.
And for Asar, I know he's not clear to practice with you guys yet, but how much work have you been able to do with him right now, and how has he looked so far?
I mean, it's tough, obviously. He hasn't played a lot of basketball in a long time, but he's another guy who is so eager that he's willing to do whatever. So we've had a ton of conversations. We've watched film together, those types of things. He's been on the floor doing one-on-0 stuff. We've tried to simulate some things as best we possibly could. But we expect it to take a little bit of time just because of the circumstances that he's been through.
With Isaiah, how much can you tap into his ability to space the floor, just given that he gives maybe a different element compared to a guy like 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗢𝗪?
Again, everybody here has a unique skill set and talent, and it's our responsibility to put them in those positions where their talent helps the team as much as possible. And Isaiah's proven that he can, step out, especially to the corners and knock down the three. So, we allow guys to play with freedom as long as they're playing selfless and competing their tails off. So we'll use him just like we'll use all of our guys in order to figure out ways to help each other be better players.
What's the value for a young point guard like Cade and for you as a coach to have a guy like Tobias that is going to give you 18, 20, 22 points every night?
I mean, you love to have somebody that has been there and done that and done it on a consistent basis. What I'm so impressed by is just his professionalism. And it's not just on the court. It's like how he shows up to work every single day, the work he does before, how he eats, how he monitors himself, like all those things for young guys are just lessons, valuable lessons learned. And, as a coach, sometimes you can just step back because you got a guy whose voice can be heard and understands what you're trying to get across.
First open practice on Saturday, preseason game on Sunday. What are some things that fans can expect, and what are some things that you're looking to see?
Again, just giving guys an opportunity to play together. We've got 5 preseason games, so that's great for us, being a new staff, putting in new things, getting to know guys. But, expect our guys to compete, play hard, play with some pace, play with tempo, and again, play a selfless style of basketball.
And I know that you've seen some good qualities about 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗢𝗪 from afar, but now that you're up close and personal, is there anything new that you've learned about 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗢𝗪 the player or 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗢𝗪 the leader?
Well, yeah, that's the most important thing is when you're not around a guy, you don't know his personality, you know what you've heard, and obviously he's got a great reputation. But I love just watching him interact with his teammates. The conversations that he has with those guys, the conversations, the questions that they ask him, like he's got a great way about him where people just want to be around him and play with him. So that's been fun to see so far.
Ron Holland said the one guy that's taken him by surprise so far is Paul Reed. What's the value of a veteran guy who comes from a winning program and plays all 82 games last year?
He just knows how to impact winning. And I think for young guys in particular, like that's something that they're trying to figure out is like, what does a winner look like at this level? All these guys have won in high school or, wherever they've been in college, but understanding what it takes to win in the NBA. And the thing that stood out with Paul is like, he makes all the extra effort plays. Yeah. And for a guy like Ron who has that speed, that athleticism, and those types of things, like he can impact that way as well. So it's been great for him to see that.